Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Film Studies Club podcast, a podcast about all things movies. Today, I enjoyed
Hollywood.
I don't think that we have started a single episode without, like, at least one of us laughing.
I'm gonna pop a blood vessel.
We're joined by my vice host, Pahul Chabra. Go! I said your name again. I'm sorry. Say
No.
Here. We'll go back. I'm joined by my vice host,
Pahul Chabra.
and our fact checker / vice host.
No, you usually say my name.
Nicholas Manna. This podcast is like completely lost any structure that it once has.
Pahul,
Hey.
You need to stop peeking your microphone.
What?
You need to stop peeking your microphone, Pahul.
What am I
Paul's
doing?
not peeking his microphone.
When you were screaming,
Nick, you're peeking your microphone.
Okay,
Yeah, he was screaming before the podcast started, bro. That was the countdown.
that's my bad.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay. So I think we should all explain our backgrounds as we do. So let's start with you, Pahul.
Okay, my background is it's a hallway. It's a long hallway. It's like my life. My life is a long hallway, and there's a bunch of doors on the sides where you can go to different side quests in your life, or you can take the one-way route, and you can just go to the door at the end of the tunnel. That door means death. But if you go through like the side quests, then you have a fun life. If you just go straight on through, then you just meet your death. Sometimes people are born really close to the death door. That's when they die in their childhood and stuff.
Pahul.
And sometimes people are born like at the end of the hallway and they live to be like 95 and stuff. I feel like I'm born right in the middle of those two. 50.
You think you're only gonna live till 50?
52.5.
52.5. Wow. That is a hallway from a popular movie, though.
Well, let me guess.
The Shining.
Do you seriously not know?
The Shining.
No, I've never seen The Shining, dude.
Okay, but that's like an iconic hallway.
Yeah, but iconic to people who've seen The Shining.
Iconic to all people. I knew it was The Shining before I had seen The Shining.
Well, to be fair, it's you.
Oh, the video's restarting.
Yes, it is. But Nick, it's not about your background yet. Interesting fact about that hallway: they also used it in Toy Story, that floor design, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, is it the same movie?" And it was really stupid.
They are the same
That's
movie.
screwed up.
Anyways, my background is a poster for a movie that we will be talking. You know what? I should explain mine last so that we can like segue into the movies we're talking about.
That's true. That's a very good point.
So, Nick, you explain your background.
My background is the entire video of the duck song, and also I'm upside down. Wait, there he is.
You know what I was noticing by watching it earlier is the guy who owns the lemonade stand, he progressively gets like more and more mad, and he looks like really mad by the end of it.
You just now noticed?
Well, like, I guess I don't remember watching the duck song as a kid. Like, I didn't know it was a thing until Sil Whooper did it as a skit with his sister at a.
I think it's supposed to be Kill Whooper.
Kill Whooper did it as a skit with his sister at a Boy Scouts thing when we were in Boy Scouts together, and that was the first time that I had heard of it.
Kill Whooper was a Boy Scout.
Yeah, with me and Justin. I mean, with Sustin Jewart. It was a very interesting Boy Scout troop. Who else was in that? I don't know if you guys know anybody else who was. Look at him. He's so mad right now. Like, he's so mad. Why would anybody get that mad?
Okay. We've been talking about we're talking about the duck thing for a while now.
All right, fine. So my background is a poster for a movie that we are going to watch today.
No, we already watched it. We're going to review
We are going to review it today. We have already watched it. We were supposed to review this 2 weeks ago on our episode with Madame Rager, but certain circumstances ran in the way, and it applies to our theme this week, which is survival movies. So should we go? What order should we go in this time? Alphabetical, chronological?
Well, since you talked about Life of Pi first, we should go with Life of Pi first.
Well, no, but from there, where are we going to go to? The Martian? Because the thing is, that's in the middle in terms of
I say,
Alphabetical and in terms of
oh, I have an idea.
chronological.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
So we see how big the setting of the movie is. So like, say, so Aguirre goes first because they were in a little jungle, and then goes the Pacific Ocean because the Pacific Ocean is huge, and then goes space because space is literally so big.
I think it's
You
just
heard it here
Mars.
first, folks.
Okay.
Space is big.
True
Okay.
that.
All right, so then we're gonna start off with Aguirre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically that's chronological order as well, but whatever
Oh,
makes you
awesome.
feel comfortable. So, anyways, ignore the awkward cut there because we are going to start off with Aguirre, the Wrath of God. So, this movie came out in 1972. It was directed by Werner Herzog, and the plot synopsis reads as this. A few decades after the destruction of the Inca Empire, a Spanish expedition leaves the mountains of Peru and goes down the Amazon River in search of gold and wealth. Soon, they come across great difficulties, and Don Aguirre, a ruthless man who cares only about riches, becomes their leader. But will his quest lead them to the Golden City or certain destruction? That is like way too American of a plot synopsis for this movie. I feel like the plot synopsis just should have been like some dudes are riding down the river and then they get like mad at each other. Uh anyways, who should review first? Who
Not me.
Nick, you want to review first?
I would love to, Robert.
All right. What did you think of Aguirre the Wrath of God?
Personally, I didn't care too much for this movie, and the reason why is because I'm American. That's it. The only reason. And also, and also, I thought the score was very. I know it was repetitive on purpose, but just what was being repeated was so not good, in my opinion. And I think that it was quite a slow-paced and boring movie for my taste. And also the cinematography was like nauseating, but that could also just be because I was watching it in 5 frames per second.
We were watching it over Zoom because these guys don't have Amazon Prime accounts, so
Actually,
do.
we were watching it perfectly
do?
legally.
Yeah.
no, we were watching it on Amazon Prime through Zoom. That's legal.
Plus, I could watch it illegally. I pulled it up and everything. I started watching it, then I got bored.
Oh wait, Paul, we should next time that we do like a Zoom call like that to watch a movie together, we should use yours because it probably won't lag as much.
My Amazon Prime thing?
Yeah,
Why won't mine lag?
because you have better internet connection than I do.
IDK, but I'll give it a shot.
All right, if you say so. Nick, do you have anything else to add to Aguirre?
No.
You sound miserable. All right. Then I will talk about Aguirre. This was a movie that I was actually like really looking forward to for like a really long time. I remember like in 8th grade when I was first getting into movies, I was like, I want to watch Aguirre. It looks cool. But for some reason, I just literally never got around to it. So I just got to watch it a little bit ago. And honestly, I am underwhelmed with this movie. I do understand why a lot of people would, give it like really positive reviews. It has like a 4.1 on Letterboxd, and it has a very high Rotten Tomatoes score, and people
98%.
enjoy it. What?
98% on Rotten
Yes, that's
Tomatoes.
facts. And people enjoy it quite a lot. And I see where they're coming from, but I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it lacks like a structure. And I remember, you guys know about Masterclass, like that thing that you get YouTube ads for, where Samuel Jackson is like teaching you about acting.
Oh yeah, some of those ads are pretentious, bro.
Oh yeah, they're very pretentious. It's a bad service. I would not recommend it. But so I guess we're being anti-sponsored by Masterclass. Is there a word? Is there like an antonym for sponsored?
I don't think there is. Like, what's the antonym of being sponsored? Them not giving us money to not talk about on the show? What?
Well, no. That's a double negative. It's got to be they're not giving us money, but we're talking about it on the show.
Oh, that makes sense. So
antonym. I'm going to look it up. Antonym just doesn't sound like a real word for a sponsor. Let's see
We
what.
here
Let's
at
see what.
Film Studies Club love vocabulary and grammar.
Okay, so here's what we have: antagonist, enemy, opponent, opposer, and opposition. So I guess we are an antagonist of Masterclass. I think that's the one I like the
Nice.
most.
We're like
Um,
Voldemort.
exactly. But anyways, uh, and I remember I was watching the one by Werner Herzog, and he said in it he was like, too many people in Hollywood are obsessed with like plot structure. And I don't care about plot structure. Some of my movies have 3 acts, and some of them have 5 acts, and some of them have 0 acts. And he's like, that type of thing can like ruin flow and creativity. And one, I think that's a terrible thing to teach somebody who's new to filmmaking, because they're just going to ignore all the rules that have been previously established and try to do their own thing, and they're not going to be able to make a movie. Um, but I understand where Werner Herzog is coming from, because it does kind of, block the creativity process. And I think that certain movies do that well, where they have like not many acts, or they don't have a very clear structure. Like 2001: A Space Odyssey is a really good one by Stanley Kubrick. But I feel like if you're gonna do that and not have like a super consistent structure, you need either like really good characters that you can relate to. You need like an emotional gut punch somewhere in the movie, or you need filmmaking that's like transfixing and weird. And I know for a lot of people this movie is transfixing, but I personally just did not like see it that way. The movie honestly did drag on for me, and there's certain scenes where I did kind of get like interested in what was happening, but the filmmaking was just simply not good enough and not stylistic enough to support not having any sort of structure. I would say that this movie, it feels like Apocalypse Now, but the whole movie is just the second act. And I love Apocalypse Now, but I love it because the story is fascinating and the philosophy behind the movie is fascinating. But this movie, I feel like it isn't really saying anything. It's just about people on a trip for riches and to spread religion, and they're going insane, and they're yelling at each other, and things get violent. And I don't know. I think it's an interesting movie, and I understand why film school study it and everything, but it just did not stick with me. There was nothing I could really like connect to. And I like things about it. I actually do like the score. I like it when movies can use repetitive scores pretty well. Like I'm watching Twin Peaks right now, and that show uses the same songs over and over again, like in Minecraft, and it actually like works really well. And I think the cinematography of this movie is really good. The set design is like great. It's very simple, but it's very effective. Like having all those people cramped onto the areas that they are, and then eventually on the raft and everything like that. And the costume design is good, and like it's technically a well-made movie, but because he just ignored plot structure and all of that, it just ended up like coming off flat to me. Also, that I didn't know that the duck got grapes at the end of the song.
Yeah, that's
He's
like
like,
that's like key to the plot.
I thought that at the end of it he just like gave up.
No, he's like, let's go get some grapes.
Oh, and then they go get grapes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, Pahul, what are your thoughts on Aguirre?
This movie was weird. I did not like this movie. I found it quite strange. I wasn't really paying attention a lot. But I read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia with the spoilers and everything. And after reading the plot synopsis, I like the plot synopsis of the movie. So yeah, good job on the story, Mr. Director Man. But everything else weird. That's it.
What an
That's my
awful
review.
review.
Yeah, Pahul, oh my god. It's okay. I'm sure you'll have a really good one for the other 2 movies. Have all three of us seen all 3 movies on
I've seen all three.
I have not
Ish.
seen Life of Pi. I'm sorry.
Are you serious?
That's like
How
a really
have you
good
not
movie.
seen Life of Pi?
I don't know.
Life of Pi is a good movie,
It's
dude.
just one of those movies I feel like everybody has seen.
I
I've
haven't.
seen
I'm
it.
sorry.
I saw it in India first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it big in India? Like, did like people like want to go?
It was big in India because people were excited because Hollywood Indians. There was an Indian man in there. And
Bollywood.
it was like a crossover episode of Hollywood and Bollywood.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, anyways, back to Aguirre. Should we just give our scores and move on?
Absolutely.
All right, Nick, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
What? You
That's,
just talked about how much you hated it the entire time.
I don't hate it. I don't hate anything, Robert.
I just hit my mic. I hope that didn't pick up.
No, you hate guys who use the word chick.
That is
Yeah,
true.
you
I
do
do
hate
hate that.
Wait, are you saying a 6 out of 10 as in like good, like decent, or a 6 out of 10 like school where it's like a D minus?
School.
You are?
Yes.
So then, more realistically, you're giving it like a 3 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Why are you negotiating a review with Robert? Just say whatever, dude. Okay, I get it. You hate the movie.
It's a 4 out of 10.
See,
It's
okay.
a 4 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 6.
I'm gonna give it a clap.
No, Pahul. Pahul.
Can you find any other rating system other than the two emojis?
Oh shoot!
The SAT, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna use a different rating. I was gonna use an SAT score for these movies.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
gonna give this movie an SAT score of 800. It flunked in English because it's completely in German, and it was good in math. So I'm gonna give it some points in math.
So that means it got a 200 in English and like a 600 in math.
Yeah, good. It was really good in math.
Gotcha. I think it's interesting because this is like a really well reviewed movie, and I feel like any other movie related podcast, somebody would love it because it's a lot of people's favorite movies. But
Nah.
anyways, now we are on to our next movie, which is called Life of Pi, or this one was based on a book. What?
I was just saying that you didn't see that one coming.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
You'll get it.
This one is
What's up,
directed
guys?
by Ang Lee, and it stars people, and it follows.
Wow.
The plot synopsis is the story of an Indian boy
Stars
named
a
Pi,
tiger.
a zookeeper's son who finds himself in the company of a hyena, zebra, orangutan, and a Bengal tiger after a shipwreck sets them adrift in the Pacific Ocean. That's a terrible plot synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why?
because he finds himself in the company of a hyena, zebra, orangutan, and Bengal tiger.
Yeah,
They're
why
not
doesn't
like-
that make sense?
It's not company. They're like all struggling to survive. That's like
Yeah, but they're
stuck with.
still in the company of those people.
They're not people, and also it deals with nothing about
animals.
his family.
Isn't this about Gandhi?
Oh my god. Oh my god. This was actually interesting that we're talking about this one today because Irfan Khan, who is an Indian actor who played the older
Who
Pi,
was an Indian.
yeah, he passed away today, actually, this morning, of
And
cancer
yeah.
at the age of 53, which is like kind of it's weird. Like
That's really
it's
young.
just not the type of celebrity you would expect hearing to die. Like he was just
Yeah, I
mean,
think
he
it's
wasn't-
weird. The timing's all weird. You know, it's all
Yeah.
out of strange. And
It was
the
kinda
way the
like-
movie deals with topics, like it's just weird. It's just really weird.
It's weird to think like whenever if I watch Life of Pi again, like watching that guy, he's like dead. You know, that's like
Oh,
weird.
but that's the case with like the first King Kong movie. Everyone in the King Kong movie is dead.
Yeah, no, I know that, but like the fact that I watched it and he was alive and now he's dead and I'm still watching.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Okay. Pahul, why don't you start off with Life of Pi? What do you think of it?
All right, so this movie, Life of Pi, I first saw it when it first came out. I don't know what year that was, but I was a teeny little kid. I didn't really get stuff, so I just saw this movie as like a survival thing, like an epic adventure kind of story. But after watching it a lot of years later, this movie's a lot more religious than I remember it to be. It's a lot more spiritual, and it was really interesting. For me personally, this movie's grown into something that's a lot more than a stupid epic adventure movie. You know, it deals with all these religions and everything. It's a nice movie. You know, I had a lot of fun watching it.
What
There's
religion
some
is
sad
it?
moments in there. Sad moments in there. What, Nick? I'm sorry you interrupted me, but I'm the one who's sorry because I have some manners. Go on.
What religion is it? Hindu?
Well, I mean, basically the start of the movie, it's like the guy's going through every single religion there is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a religion whore, if you would.
It's
Paul,
really
Paul.
weird. Yeah, Pahul, you can't use that word. So Nick, please edit that word out.
Ugh.
Sorry.
What time skip was it?
But
14.
yeah, he goes around and like he like starts studying he like grows up with Hindi and then he starts studying
Hindu,
Christianity.
Hindu.
Hindu.
Hindi is a language.
Right, sorry. He grows up with Hindu, but then he starts studying Christianity and then he starts studying Muslim and then he kind of just like
Oh
develops like a
god.
spiritual
On the
like
ocean?
thing that like no, this is
No, no, oh
before
my
he's on
god.
the ocean. Which I think was interesting. I kind of like the fact that the movie, kind of represented like kind of a combination of religions and kind of like embraced all religions. I think that helped make the movie like more relatable to like the average man, you know?
Apparently the book is way, way, way crazier than the movie. The movie's based on
Yeah.
the book.
I
I
I
was reading
read
about it. It was insane.
I read some of the book and the book is really violent.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like they describe
extremely
some of the
violent.
animal deaths in like really graphic detail.
And the mom's death, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember enough about it to say that. I read it in like 5th grade, but I
Oh,
remember
okay.
that the animals, and I remember it's a very technical book too. It's not as emotional as this movie was.
Like
It's
I
the
very
like
much
this
Martian.
movie
like
though.
Oh, wait,
what?
sorry. Nothing.
Nick, go
You
die.
interrupted us again, Nick.
Yeah, seriously, Nick. What is wrong
What's
with
wrong
you?
with you?
I should just leave.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
Just
No,
kidding,
don't
Nick.
leave.
Bye,
Don't
guys.
leave. Don't leave.
Nick,
Don't
Nick,
leave.
Nick,
Don't
don't leave.
leave.
Nick,
Don't
Nick,
leave.
Nick,
Don't leave.
Nick.
Nick,
No,
Nick, we
Nick,
all
don't
love
leave.
you.
Don't leave. That was a perfect timing until the very next day.
My
And
cat's
then you came back. That was awesome. Good job, Nick. Dramatic
Anyway.
timing was on point.
Let me check what else I have in my notes.
You didn't take any notes. Shut up.
Yeah, I took notes, and that's
I
it. That's
feel
all I
like
had.
Bobo took notes.
I doubt it.
I took notes, but
He's
the only
lying, he's a
note
liar,
I
he's a
took
liar,
was
he's
a
a-
day ago, and I said, "Dude died." That's it.
You said dude dies.
That's pretty.
Yeah, because a celebrity dude died.
Right.
right, okay.
It was kind of like I would compare it to like when Kobe died. Like I wasn't super emotional about it because like I wasn't like I'm not a basketball fan, that kind of thing. I wasn't super emotional about his death. It was just like shocking. It was like, whoa. Like
Yeah, because like it's out of nowhere.
right. And that type of guy, he's the type of guy to like randomly star in a movie and then get like an Oscar nomination, you know? Like I
Yeah.
saw an Oscar in that guy's future and then he was just gone. It's very
He was
sad.
he was very famous in India.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was known to be like a very artistic actor type of guy. You know,
Was
not
was
like
he
those
known to be like really
typical
sexy too?
action Bollywood. No. There's some there's some sexy figures in the Bollywood. He was not one of them. His like I don't want to say anything about the guy. He just died and everything. So I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Well, I think that that's interesting that he was known as a super artistic guy and then he came to America and he made like a lot of action movies.
Well, yeah. The
Like,
thing is that the kind of people who are like really artistic and stuff, they're
Mhm.
the ones who tend to like they find a way into Hollywood. They're the ones who get away into Hollywood,
right.
and then they just in Hollywood. Then they're just like action type of guys.
Right. Because I remember him in Jurassic World. Like, I remember thinking he was amazing in Life of Pi and then seeing him in Jurassic World, he was just playing this like very like standard.
Wait, who is he in Jurassic World?
He's the scientist, the Indian scientist that ends up like getting in a rocket and he gets shot down and
But
killed.
for a Bollywood person to get a role like that in a Hollywood movie, that's like insane.
Yeah.
It's like any
I'm
role
sure.
you get in a Hollywood movie is like career making and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say about Life of Pi?
That's it, bro.
All right. So, Nick, do you want to go? Oh, wait, you haven't seen it.
I thought it was really good.
So Life of Pi is a movie I have like it's a very sentimental movie. I actually credit it with the movie that kind of like got me into like movies and kind of like took my movie love to like a next level. Because as a little kid, I always loved watching movies and like I wanted to be a film director since I was in like 1st grade, but I never really thought about movies like on a deeper level until I saw Life of Pi. And it's just because one, the movie made me cry and like I just had a very emotional reaction with it. And also, I remember the like sense of wonder that it had when I was a kid. It was just like these like huge CGI animals and it was like super cool. And then because of that, I went home and I actually researched Life of Pi like on the internet. And then I found some like movie talk shows, and I like saw these people who were like really into movies and talking about it like every day on their jobs, and I'm like, oh, so this is what it's like to really be into movies. So Life of Pi is like always a movie that like I have a special connection with for that reason. So for that very reason, I was a little worried about watching it like so many years later, because what if it just like didn't hold up? Like what if it wasn't the same? And Life of Pi, I mean, it isn't as good as like when I was a child, but I still think that this is like a really strong, like big blockbuster a Hollywood movie, and it does a pretty good job of feeling like not like a Hollywood blockbuster movie. Because a lot of movies with budgets that are big like this, they're very focused on appealing to like the widest demographic possible. And this one does that for sure. It's definitely like a family movie, and it's a movie a lot of like families saw over the holiday, but it never feels like it's pandering to, at least to me. Like I could see if you could think that way, but it didn't feel like it was pandering, and it kind of just felt like it was like chilling. I don't know. Um, but the sense of wonder that like the movie instilled in me when I was a kid was still there. I think that like when he's in the ocean and when he sees the whales, or when he's like interacting with the animals and stuff, it's like that like curiosity you had as a kid when you first went to a zoo, and you just like saw all these animals and they felt like larger than life, and you just it like blew your mind. I still got a sense like that, and I kind of like that because this is also like a zoo movie, and it's revolved around the zoo that the guy had. My biggest problem is that at times it kind of feels like three different movies. Like the movie with him at home as a kid, and then the movie with him like surviving in the ocean, and then the movie with him telling the story later. And obviously, like it's segmented like that, so there was some intention there. But it's just so segmented that to me it felt like different movies at certain points, and that was really really distracting. Beyond that, I think um, the CGI hasn't held up like super well for some shots. Like there's a shot with a whale that just looks terrible today. It honestly looks like it was almost not finished. But a lot of the animal stuff, especially with the tiger, still holds up pretty well. And I am like all in support of using CGI animals for movies. I know that The Call of the Wild just came out, and it got like majorly crapped on because the CGI that they used for the dog in that movie looked like really bad. But I am all in support of that, and that is because like of where I sit in terms of like being a vegan and everything. I think it's like a good idea. Like animals were not made for being thrown in front of cameras. They were meant to just like chill and do their own thing. So I am in support of that, and I think it's good that there's a movie like this that does it really really well. When you have movies like The Call of the Wild that don't do it very well, uh, and beyond that, the acting felt a little bit hammy at certain points. Like it kind of felt like a Hollywoodized film for sure. And also the changing aspect ratios was annoying for me. Like it didn't change too often, but when it did, I really noticed it, and I could tell it was because they were trying to like do like cool 3D stuff with the camera. But beyond that, I don't know. I enjoy it. It still gives me like a like happy like whoa type of feeling. So I like Life of Pi quite a bit. And Nick, you don't have thoughts on this movie. So Pahul. Oh wait, I we totally forgot.
Sure.
We yeah, we need to do trivia
Oh
for
my
Aguirre and
god.
okay, real quick,
Oh god, that's double trivia.
let's give our rankings for Life of Pi real quick. Pahul, what are you gonna give it?
I want to give this a 1450.
Oh, that's a high score.
Yeah, this movie could make it into the UC system if it tried.
You know that one is 30 points more than the score that I got.
Damn.
Damn.
That's a high
Are you
score,
saying I can
Robert.
make it into the UC system?
True that.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Pahul.
Your hair looks nice. Bam! Just beat myself.
Oh crap. I'm gonna faint. I will give Life of Pi an 8 out of 10. All right, Nick, can we hit up the double trivia, and we need 2 transition sound effects.
Well, okay, first of all, Robert, you said you were going to do the trivia for Aguirre, so I do not have one
Oh,
prepared for
wait.
Aguirre.
Oh, do you not have any trivia for Aguirre?
Well, I was doing all the trivia live. to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I researched Aguirre afterwards and like looked over the trivia that was available on Amazon Prime. So I'm just speaking based off of that. But this Aguirre's production is like crazy. So when Werner Herzog was initially writing the movie, he said he wrote it in 2.5 days while he was touring with his soccer team, and he was writing it on a typewriter. And one night, a bunch of the guys got super drunk and one of them threw up on his typewriter, and because of that it ruined like a bunch of pages of the script, and Werner just like threw them out the window and he was just done with them, like because he couldn't remember what he wrote down because he was writing it so quickly that he like just wasn't even thinking about it. So theoretically this movie could have been 2.5 hours long. Like that was probably like an hour of stuff that
okay,
and
that's
threw
good.
up all over
I
it.
don't mind that.
Yeah. If Aguirre was longer, I would have had a problem with it. Also interesting, there is a scene towards the end where the lead actor is supposed to start like screaming and breaking down, or not screaming, but like he's having kind of like a mental breakdown. But Werner Herzog was very much against that, so he shot for an hour and a half and just let the actor just like scream his head off and like do that until he got tired, and then after that they shot the final scene so that he would be like more subtle. Also, when they had finished shooting the movie, Werner traveled back to the United States, I believe, or wherever he was from at the time, and he thought that they actually lost all of the film's negatives because they hadn't received them from the airport, so they thought that the movie was just lost. But it turned out that the airport was just holding them because even though they signed all the paperwork, the airport just forgot to send them over. So that saved him quite the hassle. Also, the actor in the movie, towards the end, there was a scene with monkeys, and he said that the monkeys like actually were biting him on camera while it was happening. So the production for this movie was just nuts. It's a very interesting story. It's similar to the story behind how they shot Apocalypse Now, which was really interesting. But anyways, Nick, what about facts for Life of Pi?
I have a really terrible fact, but
All right, go for it.
Pi is on the lifeboat for 227 days. A good approximation for the number pi is 22/7. That's it.
That's the only fact you found.
No.
So
Okay.
that's a good fact. Let's end it right there. That's a really
No,
good
no, we're not ending. There's got to be something else about this movie that's interesting.
No, but that's like the best fact ever.
No, it's
I love
not.
that trivia.
That's terrible.
Okay, Tobey Maguire was originally cast as a writer. Ang Lee thought Maguire was too famous for such a small role and would have been
What?
distracting.
That is true, though. I think that he would have been distracting. Although the guy that they chose ended up being like pretty hammy and like I don't know.
Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man. Yeah, okay. I was
Good,
just
thanks for
making
answering
sure.
my question
I was making
or your
sure.
question.
Wait, Tobey Maguire was in.
What?
Tobey Maguire played adult Tim in The Boss Baby.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
No,
Oh,
the
no,
movie-
we mentioned that.
Yeah, I said that
for
when we
sure
reviewed The Boss
mentioned
Baby.
that.
I was like, it had Alec Baldwin, Steve Buscemi, and Tobey Maguire, and yet who were like always work with the Coen brothers, and yet the Coen brothers didn't direct it.
I do
Yeah, no, he
remember that,
mentioned-
actually.
Yeah. Oh my
I
God,
do
Nick.
remember that. I'm sorry.
All
This
right,
is so
Nick.
dumb.
I'm
All right, Nick.
so
Transition
sorry.
sound effect.
I can't. I told you this.
No.
No,
We're gonna add it in post.
Oh.
The transition sound effect.
You don't remember?
One.
You don't remember the whole joke, Nick?
Whoa,
All
that
right,
was
Nick.
a really
That
cool...
was a great.
No. We need to decide when we're going to cut it because you're going to cut this part out, Nick. Add a timestamp. You're cutting this part out, okay?
Okay, cut it out now. Wow, Nick, that was a great transition. I love you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with everything said in that transition sound effect.
That transition
Anyways,
sound effect was
You know what,
great.
Nick? I think we need another one because we're transitioning to another movie again. So play another one here. Oh, Nick, that was so
Oh.
good.
I'm laughing so much. Oh my God, Nick, that was amazing. Oh my God.
Nick, you're just the coolest guy, aren't you?
That's the worst
Damn,
thing I've ever been a
Nick.
part of.
All right. So now we are going to go on to our next movie,
Seabiscuit.
The Martian.
Oh.
There it is. Real quick, Nick, did you play the mobile game for this week?
I did.
Okay, cool. So the
Mobile game for
Martian.
this week.
What?
The mobile game for this week.
You sent it to me. It was the jelly.
Yeah, but
game.
I'm already on the mobile game for next week. You see, I'm thinking ahead.
Gotcha. Okay, so The Martian is the plot synopsis reads as follows. During a manned mission to Mars, astronaut Mark Watney is presumed dead after a fierce storm and left behind by his crew. But Watney has survived and finds himself stranded and alone on a hostile planet. With only meager supplies, he must draw upon his ingenuity, wit, and spirit to subsist and find a way to signal to Earth that he is alive. All right, Nick, I want you to start this one off, and I want you to explain what we did with this movie in 8th grade. Okay?
Oh.
I want people to know about the history of The Martian.
Well, so first off, I'm gonna give my thoughts. I actually really like this movie. I thought it was very entertaining, because I really like the concept of just having a little bit and then surviving off of such like a small amount of supplies. Like for example, like in Minecraft Skyblock.
I knew it. Oh my god, I knew he was
Oh
gonna bring
my
Minecraft
God.
in here somehow, and he did.
I really like that idea, and it's similar to the game like Raft and stuff like that. That concept in my mind is really entertaining, and I really like how the movie was extraordinarily accurate to how that would actually go down, and also what's the actor for this film? I forget his name.
Are you
Mark
serious?
Ruffalo. No, Matt Damon.
Matt
Mark
Damon.
Ruffalo?
I don't know why, dude.
It's Matt Damon, yeah.
Matt Damon is a national treasure, and I love him. Anyways, in 8th grade,
We see his butt.
We do. No, that wasn't him, though. That totally
Oh, that
wasn't
wasn't him. That was a stunt double.
Well, think about it. Like, he had the towel over his head, and we didn't see his face when he walked by. And then the next
Could've
shot
been
is like a
him.
close-up of him, and he takes the towel off, and then the next shot he's in a spacesuit.
Could have
Okay.
been him, man.
I doubt it.
in 8th grade science class, by Kerr Melly, because Mr. Anyway, I don't know his first name. I forget.
I don't know either.
We watched this movie, and I don't remember what it was supposed to demonstrate, but I believe that Kerr Melly.
Why are you saying Kermelly? Why aren't you saying Kister Melly?
Oh, Kister Melly.
Oh my god.
Kerr.
Okay.
Just keep on going, Nick.
Kister Melly. He made a really big deal that this movie only had 2 F words in it, and
What?
I remember Robert being this little smart aleck he was, being like, "Hey, they only use 2 F words because if they use more, then it'd be an R rating, but it's PG-13." And yeah, that's all I remember.
He argued it with me. He was like, no, they wanted to prove that he was like a tough guy, but after saying it twice, they didn't need to establish it as much. But like, there's literally shots of him outside of the pod where you can hear him screaming and see him mouthing the F word, and you just don't see him. You just can't hear it. You still see him saying it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the difference.
Robert's still upset about it.
I am. I will be till the day I die. You know what? Okay, so here's the thing. What we studied with it, I completely forgot about this, but I looked at my old Letterboxd review. We memorized its patterns, structures and functions, systems, and stability and change.
Oh yeah.
Remember, that was like the 4 themes of his class, and we used the Martian to try to analyze. It was such a weird way of teaching. Mr. Kelly, I mean, Kister Melly, he taught in such
Cover
a
blow.
weird. He taught in such a weird way. Like, a lot of his teaching just didn't make sense.
Well, he kind of had to because this is like the year that we're not going off the book, and he just like kind of had to improvise the entire year.
That is insane to me. Like, imagine just being given a science class and they're like, "We're not gonna tell you anything. Just make up a
Tried his darn
class."
hardest. Tried his darn hardest.
But I learned a
You know what?
lot.
I
a lot.
had
from that
fun
class.
in this class.
Yeah.
It was a great 8th grade class because like
We
grades
never
still don't
finished
matter at
our
that
card
point.
project.
What?
We never finished our card project, man. But he
I
still
did.
gave us 100%.
Oh yeah, ours broke apart and I almost cried in class because I thought we were gonna get a terrible grade.
Oh my god.
He graded that class really hard as well. Do you guys remember that? Like, so many kids had B's for no reason.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he graded the class really hard.
Oh,
I had an
I think I got like a 90.1% in the class. I got barely scooted by with an A. Anyways, um, so Nick, was that all you had to say about The Martian?
I believe so.
So it's my turn, unless you want to go, Paul.
The Martian? No, you go.
Okay. So The Martian, I got to see in San Diego when I first moved down there. And when I first saw it, this movie like blew my mind. I was like, oh, pff, it was like that. Because I just I had never seen a movie like this before. It was just something like new to me at the time. Now I understand there are a lot of movies like this out there, but at the time I hadn't seen like a movie that could combine like just so much fun with such like a stressful concept. I think that, and even like rewatching it now, I think this movie does a great job with combining stress and entertainment. Like there's a lot of stressful scenes in this movie where you're like, I don't know what the outcome is going to be of this, if he's even going to be able to survive this. But it's not like it's so stressful that it like is hard to watch, like Uncut Gems or something like that. And because of that, he like, what are you doing, Paul?
I don't know.
Nick, you better show a clip of him doing that while I'm talking. It was great. Um, but I think Ridley Scott was very impressive for that. Like he could make a movie that went to heightened emotions, but was not too much for the general public to handle. I think that's really impressive, and I think he did a great job with that. Matt Damon is also in this movie. He's a pretty cool dude. He does a great job, and honestly, I think he's like the heart of this movie. Like, the scene. Can we talk spoilers for The Martian? I feel like
Yeah. Go ahead,
Don't worry
man.
about it.
like the scene at the very end, right before he's about to launch off and go into space, he starts like breaking down, but he's still coordinated enough to like talk and like make everything happen. That acting job just like blew my mind. Like with so many other actors that could come off as like artificial, but it was just like you could tell it wasn't a cry because he was sad. He was just like overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed with like the idea that he was leaving this place that he had spent so much time on and gotten so used to, and he was finally going to see like a human face for the first time in so long. I think that's really interesting. My problem with The Martian is that even though this movie has very good conflict, the conflict sometimes like it's solved too quickly. Like in the middle of the movie, so in screenwriting, there's this thing called the midpoint, and it's supposed to happen in the middle of the movie. And when it happens, it permanently changes the rest of the movie. It's like the switch that just like ruins everything. It's like supposed to be like the heightened, like a really high point in the movie. Like the midpoint and the climax are the highest points of the movie. And the midpoint, I noticed while watching it because I was like just looking at it for its like structure and everything. The space thing blows up. And because of that, he's not able to grow more potatoes. He's stuck with the amount of potatoes that he has left. Um, I thought that was interesting, but I think it was just solved too quickly. In 5 minutes, he sealed it back up again. He was able to go back inside, and then he counted up his potatoes. And then it's like the food rationing wasn't even a problem at that point. He still had enough meat and potatoes to make it through. And even though he lost a lot of weight and he became very skinny, it didn't really feel. Nick, are you sleeping? It didn't really feel like it was a permanent change that like seriously messed him up. Like if he had lost the ability to grow potatoes and then it was a problem of he's not going to be able to have enough food and he had to resort to some weird way, like that would have been like a great way to raise tension. But that's just an example of like the way that this movie just deals with conflict. In order to try to make it like appeal, Nick, you're still sleeping.
No, I'm not.
In order to try to make it like appealing to wider audiences, the conflict isn't super intense and it's solved pretty quickly. And because of that, I don't know, it wasn't quite like enough for me. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Pahu?
The Martian is a movie that's very cool. And it's cool because I had fun watching it. I had fun watching it because
This sounds like
Okay.
a third grade essay.
It sounds like somebody who has no clue what they're talking about.
I like The Martian because
It's a good movie. It's a good movie because
Movie
I
because
like
it's
it.
really cool, and it's really cool because oh god, what was I gonna? Oh, I'm gonna pull up my notes here.
Okay, while he does
Okay,
that,
I pulled up my notes.
Okay, never
Nick,
mind.
thank you for interrupting my review once again. And anyway, so it was interesting. I don't like the midpoint or whatever where the thing blows up, because then it's the movie's like ugh, because then it's all high and happy and everything, and then it's suddenly sad. I'm like, dude, come on. I was like finally happy because the guy was happy and the potatoes all got frozen to death or whatever. And the movie was just a bummer, until he got back in on
Well,
Earth
I
or
mean, I guess
whatever.
in that sense, it was a good midpoint because it did kind of change the emotions around. But yeah, anyway.
Boo hoo! I hated that. I would have liked if he like made a whole colony of potatoes and like it became really cool and he had potato party and stuff. Whatever. I'll live with that. Um, what else? The disco jokes. I don't know. They got old for me pretty quickly. Like he's
Yeah.
talking about the disco and everything. Oh yeah. Well, listen to something else, you freak.
Well, he literally couldn't. That was the only music that he had.
Are you kidding me? Did no one think to bring something else on this long trip to another planet? Are you
They brought
saying okay?
movies
No,
and TV shows.
it takes 6. What about music? Music is so important. Ever heard of Spotify, Apple Music? There's entire streaming platforms based on music.
I
Music
don't
has
think
been a
that they
part of
Where
are
would they get a
humanity
connection?
for
Yeah, where would they get a
7,000
connection,
years.
Paul?
No, but like what I'm saying is like there's entire businesses based on music. Music is clearly an important part of humanity, yet no one decides to bring music except for the captain, and she only brings disco. I mean, come on. It's a 6-month journey to Mars, and then they live there for a while, and then they go back. That's like more than a year. And no, you know what? I'll just live with disco for a year. That's so stupid. I hated that. They should have thought that through. Maybe bring some better jokes.
You need to calm down.
But
Yeah, Paul, you're kind of going crazy.
it's stupid, dude.
I will
And
say that. Shut up. No, I will say that. The day like when we were watching it in science class in 8th grade, I went. We hadn't finished the movie. I went home and I searched up the movie, which is rare for me. I usually don't make an effort to watch the rest of a movie in class. Anyways.
we finished the entire movie in class, though, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
over in the span of 3 days, and after the second day, I just went home and watched the rest.
Oh, okay.
Yup.
Well, yeah. I
Wait,
mean,
well, then what did you do on the third day?
Watched it again.
Wow.
good job, Nick. Anyway, yeah, I've watched this movie 2 times, and I it was good, I guess. Yeah.
And Donald Glover is in it, and I love Donald Glover.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
mention that the guy who did the.
Yeah, he was so cool. I was like,
I
dude,
thought
that's
it was
Donald
cool
Glover.
how they brought him in at like the end of the movie, but it didn't feel forced. He was just like, yeah, it kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
and he did the whole thing where he was gonna go around the planet, and then he was gonna go straight through, and then he was gonna go, and
He's such a good
crazy.
actor. I love him.
Donald Glover.
No, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, they should do a live action duck stand movie, and Tobey Maguire can be the guy who owns the lemonade stand.
Okay, shut up.
No, that would actually
Okay.
be so awesome. And then you have a CGI duck. We should make that. Let's call Tobey
Moving
Maguire.
on. Moving on. Transition sound effect.
No, we still need
That was
facts
crazy.
and
That was
everything.
really good.
We need facts. We need facts.
Oh yeah, facts.
NASA.
Oh no, we read a bunch of trivia for this movie while we were watching the movie in science.
Yeah, I don't
Mr.
remember a
Kelly.
single thing about
Oh
that.
come on, I remember.
NASA was consulted in order to get aspects of space and space travel, specifically in relation to Mars, with the most accuracy. NASA is federally funded, yet charges no one, including private for-profit organizations, any fees for use of and access to its archives and consultancy.
Oh my god, you made a cool fact boring.
Yeah, you made it really boring, Nick.
Like
Shot
it seems
in
like
only
it's like a
72
lecture.
days.
It's like
Another Andy Weir wrote his own computer programs using real Earth and Mars alignment data to determine the best theoretical date for the Area 3 missions to launch.
Aries 3.
Sorry.
Have any of you read the book by Andy Weir?
No.
Nope.
It's really good. I read it after the movie came out. It's like really, really good. And they actually bring up like
Noted.
the thing that I said where I feel like this movie didn't heighten the conflict enough. The book totally does. There's like the towards the end. Actually, I won't spoil that in case you do read it. Are you gonna read it?
I was thinking of reading it along with the Life of Pi book. I'm really
I'm
interested
literally
in that.
never going to step foot into a bookstore and say I want The
No,
Martian.
no, Nick. But the thing is that you like maybe if you go and get another jigsaw puzzle from Barnes and Noble with Jerry because you do that, and then you're like, oh look, The Martian, a book, and then you could get it. You're very spontaneous, Nick.
You are.
I'm
I wouldn't
not.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you started like a book club at our high school.
Why don't we have a book club for Shasta?
Yeah, we should. Hey, you can't use the word. That gives away our location.
Shasta High School.
Why don't we have a book club for? Oh shit!
Or Hasta Shy School.
That's clever.
Thanks. Okay, is that any other facts, or was that it, Nick?
The tent-like shelter Watney spends most of his time
Oh my God.
inside. It's called a hab.
Yeah, I'm bored. Nick, just transition.
Aha! We know that. They say that in the movie.
Short for Mars Lander Habitat.
Shut up. Okay. Transition sound effect. Here. Nick, that one sucked.
Yeah, Nick, you're really on like a sucky streak right now. Like what
no,
happened?
No, the other. Yeah, Nick, you're just like failing in every single
Yeah,
direction.
like the last. Sorry, Nick, come back. Don't disappear.
Nick,
Don't
Nick,
disappear.
Nick, come back. Nick, no! Nick's gone. Anyways, now we're on to the mobile game part of the podcast. So, Paul Hool, you this is your segment. So, what is this game? What's it about?
Let me pull it up. Okay.
Wait,
The
I died,
the game,
but you can't see.
The game this week is Jelly Shift. Jelly Shift is a mobile game developed by
Games.
Say Games Limited Liability Corporation, and it's let's see, the newest update was released 1 month ago, 1.8.6, minor bug fixes. Shift the jelly up and down to change its form. Make sure to shape the jelly correctly so it can fit through the obstacles. That's pretty much what it is. And this game was entertaining enough that I clicked on the ad and I was redirected to the App Store and I downloaded it and then I told Robert this game is fire because it was at the time. Now I moved on to next week's game, which I'm gonna tell Robert that's fire very soon after this podcast. And then yeah, and in celebration of this game, my mom made me and my brother jelly, and I ate it last night, and I loved it.
That did
It
not
was
happen.
awesome.
That did not happen.
No,
that did
it
not
genuinely happened. Like I'll send you a picture afterwards, Nick.
Okay, I don't not believe that she made jelly, but she did not make jelly because of this game.
No, she did. Okay, maybe she did not, but I think she did. I like it. It's like you know how those like movies are up to like oh, what happened at the end, it's all up to what you think happened, and that's what I think happened.
It's up to
My mom made
interpretation.
me jello. Exactly,
but
that's the word I was looking for.
When you can
That's the
directly
first
talk
time
to
you've
your mother
interrupted me, and
figure
it's
out
been
what her
good.
intention was, it doesn't really
What?
apply.
No, it does. It totally does.
No, it doesn't. You're wrong.
Mom's an enigma freak.
Whoa! Why'd you call your mom that?
No, I didn't say that. I called her an enigma.
Yeah, that's really rude.
That's not rude. That's nice.
Wow. Okay, so I'm playing it right now, and I just got this ad, and it says vegetarian salad with a crying laughing emoji, and there's sausage in it.
So
Dude, this game. What is this? The Cook?
okay, guys. I really hate this game and everything that it stands for. This game, obviously a big criticism is that it is filled with ads. If you touch you could touch anywhere. And there are just so many ads. And it's literally just a grab for money. It's all it is. It's just like, oh, here's a dumb concept, and we can make $1 billion off of this. Donald Trump said that.
Why do you have an Indian accent?
That
Offensive.
was not an Indian
That
accent.
was Indian.
That was offensive. I hate it. This is why I'm forming Asian American club at my school.
Like,
With
that's never going
Michael
to happen.
Munty. With Michael Munty. Oh, it's gonna happen, bro. Good transition, Nick. Good job. That was a good one.
No, Nick, keep on talking. What else do you not like about this game?
It's such a simple concept, and they do like virtually nothing with it. It's just like here's the game, here's a little quirks in it, and then that's it. There's no other like creative thing we can do with this, and that's all they do with it. It's like if Minecraft had 3 blocks.
Enough with the Minecraft analogies, bro.
Everyone in the call is on their phone.
No? Okay, I'm trying to get the game, so I'm trying to play the game right now so that I can get like up-to-date information on like on what I think about it, you know?
This is awful.
Are you done reviewing?
I am done reviewing.
Okay, I agree with everything Nick said. I had seen the ads for this game, and I honestly did think that it looked fun, but there's 2 big problems. One, Nick already said, the ads. There's literally more time for ads in this game than there is for playing it. Every time you finish a level, which is like 45 seconds, there's like a 30-second ad, and then there's another part where you can't click X, and it's impossible to skip the ads. It's such a waste of time. But number 2, the difficulty of the first level is the difficulty of all the other levels. Most games have like increasing levels of difficulty so that there's like intrigue in the game so that you stay invested and you still want to play it. This game had none of that. It was literally like the same exact thing, and it was so easy. There was no strategy, no skill whatsoever. This was one of my least favorite mobile games I've ever played.
It's like I'm in like a Broken Mirror episode where it's just like you're in a room and there's just a game with just like an ad every single time you touch something.
I just got the text message for our new game. That's why Fahu was on his phone.
Yeah.
Before that, let's give our scores for this game. So, I'm gonna go first. I will give this.
Wait, we didn't rate The Martian. We never rated The Martian.
Oh, that's kind of true. I give The Martian a 7.75 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 11 out of 10. Yeah, screw you, Paul.
I want to give it a 1300 out of 1600. Yeah.
This movie is like a 1600. Like this? Are you kidding me? It's so smart.
Yeah, it's not about the smart. It's about how much I like it.
Oh, I thought you were giving it based off of like the smartness of the movie.
You're an idiot.
Nope.
Oh, gotcha. Pahul sent an ad for aquapark.io, which looks so awful.
No.
Don't spoil the next. Oh my god.
Nick, just bleep it out, and then that'll increase the intenseness even more.
The ads for that game are like so scummy.
Yeah, they look awful. Anyways, how about scores for Jelly Shift?
Oh, Jelly Shift. I want to give it an 1100.
Are you serious? That game is so bad.
I think it's smart.
I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, it's awful. All right, so now we are on to our viewer submitted questions, and we have one this week. This podcast is just slowly dying, and we are going to keep on doing it.
No, it'll be great after I make a TikTok.
No, it's gonna be a thing. We're just gonna push through the pain, and we're gonna come out of the other side with 2 million listeners daily or something. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be insane.
What if this one gets like 1 million listeners, and then all of our other ones get like absolutely 0? Like we had like one that was just super popular.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with that because I feel like I've pretty much reached the apex of my podcasting.
Do you think the podcast would end after that?
Oh, if this episode reaches 1 million views, I don't know. I'd consider stopping this podcast right there when it was good.
You know, I think we should stop the podcast once one of our episodes gets 1 billion views.
Okay, Rob, we're never gonna stop it.
No. It's either when we feel like stopping it or when one of our episodes gets 1 billion views.
1 billion. Okay. You know what?
I wonder which one's gonna happen.
Yeah, I doubt there's a single podcast that has had a billion listeners or a
No,
billion.
the only thing that's gotten a billion views on YouTube at least is
Is music videos.
music videos. Yeah,
Yeah, that's literally it.
Well, also that really creepy Russian video that I showed you
that
guys.
was that was technically a music thing. Like,
That was so weird.
Yeah, no, okay, it's music videos or kids videos. I don't a podcast
Yeah.
like what?
I know it's impossible, and that's why I put it down because I don't want it in the podcast because I like doing it.
The only reason I would see it happening is like if the population went to like 17 quadrillion or something like that.
And people just really needed something to do. Okay, so we actually have 2 questions this week, so we'll start out with this one.
yeah.
From Whoop Wap, we have, could Godzilla be considered a nature movie since he is the embodiment of nature fighting humanity?
No.
I don't think so, because when I hear nature movie, I think like things that exist in the real world. And I mean everything in this movie exists in the real world. So I would say no.
Well, I mean, they do go through a giant jungle, so I don't know.
Jungles
like-
exist, Nick.
And the island and Life of Pi ain't real.
Well, yeah, no, I'm talking about the majority of it is real, or the ideas behind it is real. It's not like he went to the island and there was like a dragon on there.
That'd be
Tiny
really
dragons. Could you imagine if that's what happened in the movie? He went to the island and there was a dragon and it turned into like Skyrim.
Oh no, yeah, and then he accidentally brings a dragon along with him on the boat instead of the tiger. He leaves a tiger on the island, and then the story is him to bring the diner back to civilization.
And it like destroys the
dragon.
world.
I don't know. That'd be really funny.
We could have made $1 billion movie. That could have been $1 billion film. Anyways,
We should do that.
the next one is from Wild Mustang Will, and it says, "How the is The Martian a nature movie? They went to space. That's not nature. That's sci-fi. Space isn't nature. Space is space." And then Kennedy Delaney commented back saying, "He be growing plants in a dome." So the reason I think that this is a nature movie and not a space movie is because very little of this movie actually takes place in space. Most of it is on the Mars or the Earth. And I think it's nature movie because he's not fighting against elements of space. He's not fighting against a lack of oxygen. He's not fighting against like what people normally do during space movies. He's fighting against like nature, like getting food and growing potatoes.
He's
and
also a botanist.
Well, okay, the way I see it is that all these movies are man versus nature movies. And so basically it's the people, however many people are in the movie, against their surrounding environment. And the environment around them plays a huge role in their decision-making process and in how the plot is driven forward. The plot is very much intertwined with how, like, what the environment is. And that's why The Martian is a nature movie in a way, because everything that Mr. Matt Damon does is in some way because he's on space, and everything that goes wrong with what Mr. Matt Damon does is because he's in space. And at the end, Mr. Matt Damon, when he breaks down, he's breaking down because he's going from not being in space to not being in space. Yeah.
Well, not quite right away. He still is in space for another 300 days when he's going home.
That's true, but like he's basically home when he's on the spaceship, kind of. I don't know, whatever. Blah blah blah.
Right. Anyways, those are all our viewer submitted questions. So, something's printing.
Yeah.
It's kind of printing. I better pull this out so it doesn't go all over the floor.
Okay. Robert, you asked me to remind you of a very philosophical question that you.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I actually had a question that once the printer finished. I'm curious what it's printing out right now.
What if it printed out a paper that says "Look behind you" and then like there's like a Slender Man or something?
Oh, this is it's a bingo for
Bingo?
for Jazzercise, I think.
What?
Yeah. One of them is drink 64 ounces of water. I think something else is printing. No, it was just settling down. Okay, So I was having a debate with Pawn Jarker about a certain political topic that I won't mention here because it gets very intense and heated. But he brought up a scenario that was like literally impossible. It just couldn't happen. And then I mentioned that to him, and he said, "Yeah, but we have the trolley incident, right? The like famous trolley incident where there's one man that's stuck against a family of five, and like, would you pull the lever to kill the one man?" Um, and he was arguing that it's the same thing. Like, even though that could never happen, it's an interesting moral question. No, so here's my question. What I was trying to do was define what life, like what I think is considered life. And he debated something that like wasn't real. So my question is, do you think that questions that have no basis in reality are like reason enough to change your opinion on things?
Well, it depends on the topic.
Well, like the trolley incident. Like, do you think that the trolley incident is really like an important question that we should be asking? And like, if it doesn't apply to the real world? What's the point of it?
I think I couldn't really give you an answer for the trolley insta or whatever. But like for example, in math, like you have to consider things that are impossible and will never be a thing. Like for example, infinity is incredibly useful in math. You have to consider the what is not possible to determine what is possible. I think that's true for math, but for things like abortion or something, for example, I
And you mentioned that.
yeah, I know. I have no idea if you should consider things that couldn't happen. I have no opinion on the matter, but I'd imagine that there are places where you should consider the impossible and places where you shouldn't.
That's a good answer. What do you think, Nick? Paul?
I think that questions like the trolley question or whatever, they're based on a very like whatever answer you choose, it's based on a very strong moral base. So questions like the trolley question are important because it helps pretty much you in deciding where you stand, and it builds this very strong foundation upon which you can set your values that you and how you see the world. Like so basically after analyzing such a tricky moral situation, it's easier to look at actual real world, more realistic moral situations in a more it's in a more clearer light, so to speak. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like how in physics we ignore like air resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's an interesting viewpoint on it. Thank you, because I was like conflicted with that question myself. So that helps work it out in my mind. Anyways, I have a
Awesome,
random question
awesome.
generator, and I think we should answer a couple questions from it.
Go.
How far are we along in the podcast so far, though, Nick?
Time
Um,
check.
an estimate of about an hour and 18 minutes.
Wow, I was not expecting that. All right, we'll only answer a couple. Okay, where is the best place to take a date?
Yo, mama's house.
Oh, what?
Okay, non-ironically, I think a movie theater is a great place because after the movie, you instantly have something to talk about. Like if you go to like get food after or get drinks or something, you have a conversation starter right off the bat. You don't have to think about something or try to figure out what you want to talk about and have it be awkward because you have a movie to talk about. And
I actually disagree with that because I feel like
Yeah.
you can't talk to the person during the movie, so you're just kind of
no,
sitting there.
that's why I'm saying like afterwards, if you go get drinks with them or go get food, then you have a conversation
But
starter.
like, okay, say you're dating someone like Nick, who gets tired and really easily. So the thing is that theoretically, if Nick were a girl, Nick's name is Nicolette in this scenario,
It's an impossible situation to make me think differently. There you go.
what?
Nick can't be a girl. It's impossible, but it's a situation. I see.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So I'm taking Nicolette to Cinemark 14 and XD. We're gonna grab popcorn and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch Jumanji 2. And the thing is that Nicolette loves Jumanji 2. She loved the movie so much, but Nicolette was tired because Nicolette spent the day. Nicolette slept at 6 a.m. playing Minecraft. And so now Nicolette doesn't want to go and grab something to eat and talk about the movie. Nicolette just wants to go home. And now we didn't talk during our date. what was the date about? I could have just watched the movie on my own.
Well, to
What's
be
wrong with you, Nicolette?
if I were with a
Nicolette loves Minecraft.
if I
And
with a,
Nicolette will do what Nicolette will do.
if I were with a girl, then I wouldn't act tired. I would talk to them.
No, but you're the girl.
If I was a girl, I'm not a
You
girl,
can't
so
say
I
if
don't
I was the girl and what you would do dating yourself. As
Yeah,
a
you're
girl.
you're right. You're right.
You
You're
can't
right.
comment on that.
You're right.
Okay,
You're
what do you
right.
think is a good place to do a date?
Paul or
I
me?
think-
Oh, okay.
So basically, when you go on a date, from what I understand, is I've never been on a date before. If you can't tell, but you want something. You want a good balance between talking and not talking. So like movie theater is on the other end of the spectrum where you don't talk at all, and I don't know. Therapy
A
is
bar.
on the other end.
A
or
bar.
A bar is on the other end of the spectrum where you
Therapy.
literally just talk. So
Just a therapy for a first date. Like, hey, we should go on a date sometime. Want to go see my therapist? That's a relationship with problems from the start if the first thing they do is go to a relationship therapist.
Or you do the thing from Nathan For You, and you just go to get your blood drawn or something.
That would be totally random if we just got our blood drawn. Oh, you should watch Nathan For You. I think you would actually like it. It's on Hulu, all 4 seasons.
I don't have Hulu, bro. All right. Okay. So I think best you want to pick something in the Goldilocks zone, and what I think is in the Goldilocks zone is like bowling. Go to bowling. Go bowl with her, man. And if you're
Bowling is kind of awkward for a first date thing, I feel.
well, okay, not bowl, but you know what I mean. Like something where you can like distract yourself. Like you have something to do other than just talk.
Okay.
You have something on the side to do. Like you could bowl some balls, or I guess you could do that in a bar. You could like drink instead of talk.
Okay, how about like an
Oh,
arcade?
I'm
The
bored
therapist
with
office
this
too. The
person.
therapist can
Right.
talk, and then you two can talk, and the therapist can talk, and then you two
See,
can talk.
I think that a lot of healthy relationships out there start in a therapist's office.
They don't start in the therapist room.
I'm gonna rule it out once if I actually experience it.
All right, Nick. What are your thoughts?
My genuine answer is a dorm room, I guess, because I just think it's just the perfect like a little private place, just to talk, maybe play some video games, just have it like a little date, maybe. That's it. Have like a dinner. Like I think that's really
Kraft
adorable.
mac and cheese.
What?
Okay. I had an idea for college that I think would be awesome. So here's what I'm
What?
gonna do. I'm gonna get a spice cabinet, and I'll be like the guy with the spices, so that people don't have to go out and buy like $50 worth of spices. I'll have all of them, but every time people want to use a spice, they have to pay me 25 cents.
You're unbelievably stupid.
Okay, no. But see, the thing is, if you want to save money on that, you have to buy the spices wholesale. Meaning you have to buy like a 1 pound bags of each spice. So you'll have like a 1 pound bag of cardamom in your room. That just seems kind of inconvenient.
No, I'll get a spice cabinet.
Put a sign on your door that says like the spice guy, and then people will think
Yeah,
like
I'll be the spice guy. I'll be like famous around campus for that reason.
No, but people will think you're like a drug dealer.
I know, it'll be hilarious. And then like the administration will come and be like, "Hey, are you doing drugs?" I'm like, "No, legit, I just have spices." And then they'll like taste the spices and be like, "Oh yeah, that's paprika. Oh yeah, that's cilantro."
Damn.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What kid in UCLA is just gonna be like, wow, I could really go for some sugar right now.
Oh, I would. I love sugar.
oh my gosh, Pahul, are you applying to UCLA?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so like 5 kids got into UCLA from Shasta this year. It was the most ever.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, it was Hoey Zoo,
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
Bikolai Nelikov,
Nice.
Thay Zloris,
Wait, I have to think about that one. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Who?
Merston Contegna,
She got in? Okay, that's
Got
exciting.
that
Yeah.
one. Okay.
And then she decided to go to Reno instead because they gave her a full ride scholarship.
Oh.
Um,
Good
and
for her.
then I don't know her last name, so I'm just gonna say Sunny.
Oh, I love her!
Yeah, she got into UCLA.
Ooh,
The girl in our physics, Pahul.
I think Palak Eitri might have. I'm not sure.
girl in our physics. The girl in
High
our
voice.
The girl who is not white.
Science.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
good for her. Good for her.
I love her. She's so sweet.
Okay. This next question I think will actually be really good. What trend are you most tired of?
Oh,
Planking.
I don't have one. I was gonna say that. Oh my god, I was gonna say that.
Pahul, me and you actually have like really similar minds, I think.
Wait, what's
That's
wrong
nice.
with planking?
It's not a thing anymore.
Is this some joke that I don't get?
No, it's a thing from like 2011 or something. I'm really sick of this coronavirus thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty
This
bad trend.
This coronavirus trend sucks.
Yeah, it's a terrible trend. That's a pretty good answer. All right. What
Did you guys see that Elon Musk tweeted that like free America and the lockdown and stuff? That was crazy. Anyway,
Okay, this one it's a difficult question. I might just skip it. What would be the best worst name for different types of businesses, aka dry cleaners, amusement parks, etc.? So like a good name, like best worst. So it's like good but bad. That one's a hard question.
amusement park. It could be a water park, and the name could just be water.
I think the best worst name ever was Darm Starbucks from Nathan for you.
I think the best name ever would be a water park, and it's called H2 Whoa.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, what song always puts you in a good mood? Everything is awesome from the Lego movie.
Oh yeah, agreed. Yeah, I
Oh.
second that one. I for sure second that one. Also, Party Rock Anthem by Miley Cyrus.
Oh yeah, by Miley Cyrus.
No, sorry. Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus and
okay.
Party Rock Anthem by whatever LMAO. And,
Gangnam Style too.
And Gangnam Style
Gangnam
by
Style is a
the
hype
Korean
song.
guy.
At Model UN, I don't know if you heard the story, Pahul. At Model UN, Gareth, Nikolai, me, Michael, and Pahul were all sharing a room, and I was like, guys, we've got to walk out in slow-mo to Gangnam Style. So we did that. We walked out in slow motion to Gangnam Style.
That's awful.
I still need to edit the blog that we took from UC.
Oh, dude.
I completely forgot about that. That would take like an hour. I should do that. Nick, what's your good mood song?
Either Honeyweed or Lone Digger by Caravan Palace.
The serious answer, so that was stupid.
Yeah, that's
all right, here's the next question.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, actually, I am serious about those 3 songs, though. Those 3 songs put me in a good mood, and everything is awesome.
Party in the USA does?
Despacito.
Yeah.
That song
Not
pisses me
Despacito.
off. I can't
Not
stand it.
Despacito.
I can't stand Party in the USA. That's what it sounds like.
Well, for some parts, yes.
Robert, we should probably be ending soon. I'm just saying.
Okay, how about 2 more questions? 2 more?
Jesus. Okay.
Sound
It's
good?
fun.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. No one is not going. If somebody's going to listen to the entire thing, it's not like that there's going to be a huge difference between an hour and 30 minutes and an hour and 45 minutes.
I just meant I was hungry and I wanted to go eat.
Oh. Anyways, okay, this is a good question. What is something that is considered a luxury, but you don't think you could live without? I think
Wait.
Probably my computer.
Okay, I got the question.
Beds. Like, it would be so hard to live without a bed. Like, it's technically just a luxury. You can sleep anywhere, but, like, without beds, our sleep would be awful, and we would all be frustrated all the time. Hi, Tim Mana.
What? What? You just look funny on camera. That's.
Nick, do you need to go?
No, my dad's just printing something.
Oh, he's
Yeah, you're right there. You're upside down right
wait,
there.
wait, he should answer the question. You should let him go up to the mic. Ask him the question.
Do you not want to be seen? It's just here. Let me turn off. Wait.
Wait, Tim, we have a question we want you to answer.
He's upside down.
What?
There we go. Wait, there we go.
Tim, we have a question.
He
would
can't
you
hear
mind
you.
answering the question?
He can't hear you, Robert.
Barely anyways.
Can you ask him to, Nick?
Yeah. What's the question, Robert?
What is something that is considered a luxury but you don't think you could live without?
Dad, what is something that you consider a luxury but you don't think you could live without?
A luxury I can't live without?
Yeah.
What the hell kind of question is that?
It's just a question.
There's no such thing.
What do you mean?
No, there has to be
There's a luxury
something.
I can't live without.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
There we go. That's a great
that's a
answer.
good
That's
one.
a great
That's a good
Thank you,
one,
Tim.
yeah.
Adam.
They're commemorating you.
Oh, ask him the date question. Ask him the date question.
Dad, what's the best place you could take a girl on a date?
A yacht.
A yacht. Okay. Oh, he's back.
The best place to take a girl on a date?
Yeah.
The back seat of your car.
Yeah.
Well, the front seat's fine too.
You have to keep this in the podcast. I mean, come
Yeah, no,
on.
you have to keep this. You have to
I
keep
mean,
this.
serious. This is like
Robert
the
was
best ending ever.
crying.
I legitimately had like
This is the best ending ever.
Oh my! His head was just floating in the green of the duck. Okay, Nick, what is your dad doing? He looks like 10 years younger all of a sudden.
He didn't have his glasses on. I don't know.
Okay, I just didn't see any wrinkles either. Didn't he look young, Paul?
Yeah, he looked pretty young actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'll
insane.
tell him you said that.
Anyways, considered a luxury, but you can't live without. Are we done with that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Should this be our last question, or do we want to keep on going?
I want to eat. I am hungry.
All in favor of this being the last question? Aye.
Oh, that's 2/3 majority. All right. What
Wait,
was
I
your
never
favorite? What?
Go on.
Well,
Go
we
on.
can't answer this one because we have not been to college. So, that one is so stupid. We need a good one. Okay. What would the adult version of an ice cream truck sell, and what song would it play? That's really good.
Alcohol and what's it?
Party rock anthem.
Party rock anthem.
Could you imagine
yeah.
a truck that drives around
Party
playing
rock
party rock anthem and it sells
tonight.
alcohol?
No, that's actually why not?
That's perfect. I feel like
That's a good idea.
what
Except
else?
for the weed. I don't know.
I think weed is another good one in states where it's legal. Just especially if you drive around play. What's like a synonymous stoner song?
Snoop Dogg. Anything by Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, just Snoop Dogg on repeat. Get a
Yeah.
little iPod shuffle with just all Snoop Dogg songs and go
Or-
around and sell weed.
But then I got high. That's a good one.
I swear that's something. Oh yeah, that. Okay, the problem with the weed one would be that the drivers would get secondhand smoke and probably get high, and then they would be driving while high.
That's true. That's
With
true.
the alcohol,
Unless
they don't have to
yeah.
drink the alcohol, so they would be
Yeah.
fine.
Also, that is it's not illegal to have closed bottles of alcohol in a car, but if any of them are open, then they are going to the slammer.
What?
Well,
Why?
but they'll be closed though.
Okay.
You're gonna sell them while they're closed. It's not like a bartender service. It's
No.
actually just they pull up and then you sell them wine bottles or whatever.
Nick, you know ice cream trucks, there's like a driving part and then like an ice cream part. It would be the same thing. It would be separate.
Yeah, but they're still in a moving vehicle.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you won't be able to sell like opened bottles of alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fun fact. You guys know Rupert Grint from the Harry Potter movies?
Nope.
Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
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 He, the reason that you haven't seen him in any acting things is because after he got all his money from Harry Potter, he fulfilled his dream when he was an 11-year-old to become an ice cream truck man. So now he has an ice cream truck and he drives around Britain giving kids ice cream. That's literally like all he does all
You're
day long.
joking.
Oh my god.
That's like a real
Oh my
thing.
god. Wow.
Can we do one more, please?
Okay.
Fine. Yeah.
Just one more. Just one more.
Okay.
That one's a little too heavy for this show.
Hey,
Oh.
this show could get heavy
Oh,
as hell.
okay. I thought the last one was what do all parents do that harms their kids? This one's even worse. What are the benefits and drawbacks of diversity in society?
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think we
okay,
can
let's
answer
see.
that one.
The
What?
pros of
Oh my
diversity
God.
is the fact that Oh.
Yeah. Wait, hold
No,
on.
no, we
Robert's
can-
sister. Robert's sister. Huh?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna interrupt for a second. You know, that looks like the hallway from The Shining.
Oh yeah,
So-
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Casino?
Yeah.
Robert has. Yeah, Robert.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
You said yes.
Starts out a little slow, right? But Nick
It's
should like it,
long, but
right?
it's pretty good. Yeah.
I can't hear, man. No. What?
No, just you can hear.
You liked it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's long, but it's really good.
Yeah, it is long, but it is good. It's a true story. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
How about have you seen Goodfellas?
Oh yeah, I love Goodfellas.
So you're into mafia films.
That one's actually Goodfellas is getting taken off of Netflix in 2 days.
What?
So if you want to
Goodfellas is getting taken off of Netflix in 2 days.
Oh, I have it.
Oh, nice.
Now I don't know if you saw The Departed, but I didn't like that.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it because
The Departed. Well, you like all movies. I didn't care for that. All
Yeah.
right, thank you.
Okay.
This question is really, really long, but I just want to read it. Like I don't know if we have to answer it, but I just want to read it. As people, we feel our moral obligation weaken with physical as well as emotional distance from individuals in need. For example, you're more likely to help someone dying of hunger at your feet than someone dying of hunger in another country. How does this human trait of morality dependent on distance shape our world? This is a conversation starter. Who starts a conversation like that?
This is a good first date.
Yeah, that's a great first date question.
Good idea. Yeah, you're sitting in Olive Garden, your fettuccine alfredo's on the way. Yeah, got that.
You have like a paragraph memorized for a question.
You just drop a bomb.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that this impacts our society in the way that like the kind of culture where it's like, oh, I bought this thing where it's like I bought this thing and it signifies that like I'm giving a goat to like this family in Indonesia when like it really means nothing and it probably didn't even happen. The money was probably used for something completely different. I think it just creates a culture where it's like helping people, trying to help people, but not really getting anything done.
I think that I really like this question, and I think that the way that this creates like sort of charitable societies where like you donate a little bit of money and you give someone in Africa a place to stay, you know, a day's meal and everything. Very good things if it actually is going for the thing. But who knows where the money's going? And the thing is that this gives people like a sort of pride and like, you know, I gave money to this very good, and that makes them complacent in a way.
Yeah.
That they feel like they're helping, but they're not changing their own situation. Sometimes what you need to do is you need to build up your own community. Sometimes you need to let people go. You need to let them of course you still have to help them, but you need to, it's like give a man a fish for a day, whatever, and you feed him forever, something. But like, I don't like charities because it makes people feel good, even though they haven't really done anything that well. And if people didn't feel good that much, maybe they'd be like motivated to go out and improve their own society, you know, improve their own community, because it's pretty much the entire world is screwed up in a very weird way, like different levels of screwed up, but everywhere is screwed up in a way.
Yeah. This makes me think like the problem with like charity is that there's like these multi like billion dollar corporations like Amazon, like Jeff Bezos. He did something where like he came forward and he gave like $80 million to a certain charity, and everyone's like, oh, that's so great. But that's just like such a small part of his that's such a small part of his profits. And not only that, like it's not like by giving $80 million to a charity, he's doing anything necessarily like world changing. it's not like he himself is paying for apartments for the homeless, or he himself is paying for food to be delivered to lower countries. He's just giving money to a charitable organization, and we have no clue what they do. There are so many scandals about charity organizations taking the money and doing completely different things. And I think that's kind of like the biggest problem I see with what that type of thought does.
I think it promotes the idea of creating like very, I guess like kind of disconnected societies, I suppose, because like if you're willing to help those close to you, then and like not those who are farther away from you, then it'll just like kind of the groups who are together are going to stay together and not like help centralize. I guess I don't really know how to explain myself, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, that's kind of a heavy one to end on. Do we want to do one more?
Oh my god.
Like a lighter one to send off, or do we want to end on that heavy note?
No, let's end it off on a light note. People need
Okay.
to have a little bit of light in their lives.
This one's light and easy. What TV channel doesn't exist but really should? I think it would be awesome if there was a TV channel that just showed really crappy, cheesy action movies. Because, like, if you're in a mood for a crappy action movie, it's really hard to find one. But if there was a channel for that, you just flip to it and just see, like, explosions and just, like, the stupidest things.
I think it would be good for to have a channel about Jesus, that features just so bad they're good movies.
Yeah, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or just, like, TV or, like, really anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a good one to end on. So,
But hold an answer.
No, I don't want to answer this one. Skip, pass.
When Pahul doesn't want to answer a question, he really doesn't want to answer a question. I still don't know who his hero is.
True that. No one will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. So I guess this is the end of the podcast here. We need some way to end. We need some catchphrase or something.
Catch you later,
6,
alligator.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.